And good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Tilson Live. I'm Eric Allered, joined as I am every week by Mrs. Dawn Dantzler. We are live. Hello, Dawn. How are you doing?
I'm good, Eric. How are you?
Super. Doing just super. Very excited to be here today. We got some very exciting images, videos, things to show some folks. So it's a beautiful home we're looking at. But all in all, so grateful each and every one of y'all are here. So please jump in. Tell us where you're watching from. Tell us where you're building, where you're thinking about building, what part of the process that you're in. Love hearing from you guys. Love that you're joining us. So we are live on Facebook. We're live on YouTube. Pretty sure we're live on Vimeo, but I don't think anyone watches over there.
Yeah,
but
they watch that later.
I know, but there's a little secret to watching it on Vimeo. And what is that little secret to watching it later on Vimeo, Dawn?
There will never be any commercials.
Hey, well, as far as we know.
As far as we know, yeah. For now, there's no commercials. Like YouTube,
no commercials.
You can break into our stuff and show commercials later. None of
it. So if you don't like watching ads and you're cheap like me and don't want to pay for the ad-free subscription or just refuse to out of principle, either way, I'm good with that. You can go to Vimeo and you can watch these back and they are uninterrupted. It's very nice. Mm-hmm. But anyway, we are live on Facebook, live on YouTube, live on Vimeo. And all of these, of course, are recorded, posted back to our website, as well to the YouTube channel and to Vimeo. Mm-hmm. So anyway, just little secrets that we know for you guys. Here to help. We're here to make you guys smarter. We're here to try to impart what little wisdom that we have on you. So if you are considering building a home on your land, particularly in Texas, you are at the right spot.
Absolutely.
This is the place for you. We want you to put your questions in the chat. We will be answering all of your questions regarding, how do I even do this whole process? Where do I begin? How do I look for land? What should I be on the lookout for? What's happening with interest rates? What's happening with supply chain? What's happening with contractors? Why is everyone moving to Texas at one time? You'll learn why are other states doing ad campaigns to stop people from moving to Texas. That happened this week in Ohio.
That's amazing. I love it.
Ohio going on the offensive, trying to stop people from moving.
Ohio was already offensive.
We love you, Ohioans. You're a very, very necessary, battleground state. Anyway, so jump in. Tell us where you're watching from. Tell us where you are building, what you're building, what your questions are. You want to talk about design changes? Want to talk about high-level pricing stuff? We have high-level pricing stuff. You get real detailed. Because it's so granular and county and location specific, that does need to be handled at the local design center. So we are going to be talking. What are we talking about today, Dawn? Because right now I'm talking.
We are going to talk about a beautiful home that we built. It's a Cypress. It's going to look a little bit like a Lasalle, but it's the Cypress plan, which also has a sister plan that everybody probably knows a little bit better called the Driftwood. But if you've ever, looked at the Driftwood and said, "Hey, I don't really need that garage on the front," the Cypress is the plan for you, because it's basically the same interior, just with some key changes of what it should look like if you don't have that garage on the front.
And that's actually how the Cypress came to be. Yeah, we have the Driftwood, gorgeous plan. People love it, but we have so many people, because we're building in rural areas, they're like, "Hey, super cool, but I don't need that garage. I certainly don't need it on the front of the house.
Right.
I'm going to be doing a metal building or something somewhere else, or detached. But I love the Driftwood. I got to have it." And so our illustrious design and drafting team, James Sheblack and his folks, came up with the Cypress. So it really is, if you've walked through and seen the Driftwood, you've probably seen like 92% of what the Cypress is going to look like. So don't let it deter you just because you can't walk through a Cypress somewhere, although today you will, because you joined us. So yeah, a lot of requests for that. And again, because a lot of our customers, they have the land and they want to build a larger, separate metal
Right.
shop of some sort and go from there. So, so this was one of those situations where they loved the inside of the Lasalle. And
Do they
so I
love
know
the outside of the Lasalle?
Yeah. And so Dawn's going to go into way more detail about what we did to accommodate that. Really what Wendy did to accommodate it.
Yeah. Because Wendy's smarter than both of us put together. So she's.
Yes. Well, I mean, I don't add a whole lot when you're putting us together as far as a brain standpoint. But anyway, so yeah, we're gonna talk about that today. But do certainly put your questions in the chat. They can be related to this plan. They can be related to just construction in general, building on your land in general, loans. How does it work? Do I have to get a construction loan? What kind of equity do I need to have? What's going on with rates? Why is Eastern Europe so volatile? I can't answer that. That's a whole different. I can point you to some podcasts that will help you, but we don't. But I will tell you this: it started before February 2022.
A little bit.
Turns out. Yeah.
Little bit.
Regardless of you hearing about it by then or not, it started way before that. All right. So we're very lucky to be here in the United States and super lucky to be in Texas. That's all I'll say about that. So, Dawn, where are folks watching from?
Yeah, let's check in. We have Kimberly, who is watching from San Antonio. Howdy. We've got Hugh coming in from Austin. I hope all of y'all were safe from all that weather last night. That was kind of a gnarly storm.
It was rowdy.
Yeah, we got Wesley coming in from Phoenix, Arizona, trying to send us some dryish weather. Hope everyone is safe from all the rain. Wesley's building a Canyon C in Greenville.
Oh, nice. Very cool.
We got Tracy coming in from Henley, building a Frio model. Board and batten is almost complete. Awesome.
Oh, pretty. Yeah.
We got Mike, howdy from Corinth. Our Possum Kingdom build doesn't look to be damaged from the storm tornado in the area yesterday. Yeah. Hope everyone is safe out there.
Yeah, I think they were isolated to Jacksboro, Mike. I know I saw Jacksboro made the news for sure, which is not far from there.
Yep. And then we've got Jeff watching from Orange County, California, planning on building a modified Fayetteville and Bandera. Awesome.
OC. Very nice.
We got Courtney. Her San Jacinto Foundation is being poured tomorrow right outside of Marble Falls.
Very cool. Courtney, congratulations.
Awesome. We got Susan checking in from the Mojave Desert in California.
Nice.
We got Jabo, who met his construction manager Armando last week. Foundation, temporary electricity install, and plumbing order submitted. Awesome. They're getting going. We got Pamela building in Fredericksburg, asking if we have any connections on pools, if she wants to add a pool to the build.
We actually do not, Pamela, and right now we're not currently allowing them to be done while the house is under construction. Here's why. It's less us and more lenders. So pool companies are experiencing the same thing to a sometimes even greater degree than what builders are, which is lack of materials, lack of trade availability, stuff showing up, plumbing parts, pumps, heaters. Those are all things that are almost unattainable right now. And what lenders are starting to step in and say is like, hey, if you still got construction of any kind going on this property, you may not close on your home. So for that reason, unfortunately, we've had to put a little temporary hiatus on pools going under construction, metal buildings being under construction while the home is under construction. So unfortunately, that'll have to be something that's done after the fact. But in any case, we don't actually have a contact for that. You might check with the local home builder association out there. I think it's the Hill Country Builder Association is one that's out there. There's also one in Kerrville. You might be able to reach out to them and see if they have some contacts. But great question.
Awesome. We've got Joe, who is still in LaPorte, waiting for a Parker County move.
That's a bit of a move.
Yeah, a little bit. We got Julie, our dirt pad in Bowie stayed put. But the tornado was just a mile down the highway and leveled some homes. Shopping for tornado shelters today. Right.
Yeah, I saw that Bowie was very, very close, Julie. So I'm glad you guys are safe and glad we only had a dirt pad down.
Yep. Let's see. Mark is asking, he signed in November and is just curious how far back we are often starting in Burnett County. They are building a Cypress as well.
Yeah, Mark, be a good thing to reach out to your sales consultant. They can tell you exactly where you are in the process. I do know that obviously Burnett County is one of the top 3 counties in the state for construction right now. Williamson, Burnett, and actually of all places, Gillespie County, Fredericksburg, where the last person was just talking about. So you're definitely going to be on the longer end of the wait times, along with everyone else in Burnett County. So, but you're sales consultant can give you a better idea of exactly where you are on if we've got permits, if we've got engineering, if we've got ACC approval, all that kind of stuff done.
All those things, yeah. All right. We got Lilo, Howdy from St. Marcus. Quick question. Are Tilson roofs tornado proof? Is there any such thing?
There is no such thing, Lilo. So great news. Ours are not, and neither anyone else's.
Yep.
There's no such thing as tornado proof. There's not even really anything as tornado resistant. There are hurricane resistance. Okay. So in Texas, we do, in a lot of places, build to a windstorm certification, which has to do with hurricanes. Okay. Hurricanes don't get much over, particularly by the time they make landfall, 130, 120 typically mile-an-hour winds. Hurricane status winds is 75 miles an hour or greater. You get 75 miles an hour, you have hurricane force winds. 35 miles an hour is a gale force wind. So got no problems with gale force winds. Really don't have any problems with hurricane force winds. Tornado over 200 miles an hour, no such thing. There's not a roof.
Like there's
not a roof out there. There's not a roof system out there that's gonna sustain that. So unfortunately, it's just kind of one of those things where you would just be really, really, really unlucky. We're very fortunate they don't happen very often, but it is not something that you're going to be able to build to prevent. From a affordability standpoint, could you build a concrete bunker? Probably, yeah. But the other, the 30 years you're going to live there for the potential one day that could happen, most people don't take that trade-off. So
okay. All right. We've got Jim watching from Katy. He attended our seminar with Curtis and Dylan this past weekend. Curtis did a great job. We are starting the info gathering process to build on our land in Korth.
Awesome. Well, thanks for joining us, Jim. Thanks for coming in. We are doing the in-person seminars. Those are happening again. So you don't have to wait every week to, listen to Dawn and me. Yeah. You get to listen to Dawn. You have to listen to me.
All right. We got Nikki, who is watching from Keller Building in Decatur.
Nice.
We got Glenn asking, what is the recommended distance from the house to the propane tank?
Propane tank to the house. It can be actually pretty close. I mean, it can be, 10, 15 feet away. Any further than, I've seen them as far away as 25, 30 feet. But I've seen them as probably no closer than about 10 feet. Mainly because you have clearance all around them. They need to be located though relatively close to like the driveway or some kind of access when the propane tank truck comes to fill it. They got to be able to have access to that. They do have hoses, but you can't put it on the other side of your house, typically opposite the driveway. Like it needs to be somewhere that's accessible so that you can get it filled.
Okay. All right. We got Citron. So Jose and Vanessa, they say, hi, we'll be building a Shiloh in Marble Falls. The heater is designed to be in the attic. Is it possible to have it installed in the garage instead?
It actually cannot go in the garage. So we have had some folks that kind of want to build it down into the living area. You actually lose a significant amount of efficiencies in doing that because you're adding a tremendous amount of duct work. So the days are kind of, used to, it was they were all located in a closet down below. The closet was maybe 24 inches wide and 30 inches deep. They were just like a cabinet basically. But also there weren't return airs going to every room. There wasn't a supply and a return from every single bedroom. There wasn't fresh air intake or dehumidifier ductwork going in and out everywhere. So all that to say that the most recent one I've seen us do that it was down in the area.
Bless you, I think.
Well, yes. Thank you very much. Combination of bless you and the leftovers of augmentin, the usual pollen time in Texas. So the room ends up being about 5 by 8 that you need to have down to be able to have all that ductwork to come down there. So the systems are much, much more sophisticated. They are designed to go in the attic, but they cannot be in the garage. They have to be in their own enclosed in a space. So great question.
Okay. All right. We've got Susan coming in. Love Tilson Tuesdays. Question: after we sign the contract and pay the $3,000, which happens next? The design appointment, stakeout, or do we wait for the final plan to be drawn up by the drafting engineer? And can we schedule both the design appointment and the stakeout the same week since we'll be traveling from out of town?
Yes. So, so the design appointment and stakeout they typically happen pretty close to one another. And it kind of works out based on what your availability is for because you're traveling. Yes, they can definitely be done the same week. There's no problem with that because it's not done by the same person. So your designer will be there in the design studio doing that, and then I would not try and do them in the same day.
Right. Yeah.
That's not going to be possible. Just for your own sanity, quite frankly.
They're both pretty lengthy appointments. So
yes, yeah, they can get pretty long. But yeah, you can definitely do them the same week. You can do them one day, and then the other one the next, if the schedules work out. The final plans will be done sometime after that, usually several weeks after both of those. But they're being worked on while those are happening, but they're not done at the same time. They'll be done a little bit later. So anyway, that's So you'll need to make another trip. I have seen them do some of those virtual on the plan approval. It's a lot better if you can sit down at the desk with your consultant and go item by item, make sure we capture all those changes.
Okay, makes sense. We got somebody coming in from Midland, Texas. Thank you so much for the Cypress tour. I looked at the sister plan, the Driftwood, but didn't like it as well. Trying to move to Lake Brownwood, saw one you built nearby. Okay, awesome. And then Wes has a question. While under construction, does Tilson have insurance on the house that would cover any damages during bad weather?
Hey, Don, did you know that we got some bad weather? Is it?
I heard that. I'm getting that sense that maybe something happened.
So yeah, Wes, great question, and I'm glad you asked. So yeah, at Tilson Homes, we carry all that will be what's called builder's risk insurance.
Right.
So we carry all the builder's risk insurance on every home that's under construction. Obviously, we carry general liability insurance and also workman's comp for our employees. While the whole time the house is under construction. So builder's risk, which is good because a lot of other custom builders, they require the homeowner to go get the builder's risk insurance. So that, if something happened, if it caught fire, if it blew over, if it flooded, something like that, that would be on whatever policy you chose. Not the case with us. We choose the policy. It's under our builder's risk insurance and the home and all the stuff that goes in it is covered. What's not covered is if you move something of your own personal possession into the home prior to closing and your homeowner's insurance being kicked in, that is not covered. So, and I've only said that because I've seen some where the house is like 90% done, and maybe we bought a new lawnmower and we moved that into the garage, and then that gets damaged or flood or something. That is not covered. But all the homes and the accoutrements that go in the home that require that's all of our stuff. That's all covered.
Okay, makes sense. All right, well, I'm going to say let's go ahead and start the presentation. So
yes, keep asking your questions. Keep asking your questions. But Dawn did prepare a very pretty presentation. If we don't get to it, I'm in big trouble.
Well, everybody's here to see this gorgeous home, so we want to make sure everybody sees it.
Yeah, so we're going to go into the Cypress, folks. Keep asking your questions. We will answer them, but for the sake of time and the folks that came to see this, not us, we're going to get underway with the Cypress. So, Dawn, tell us what in the world the Cypress even is. We talked about that a little bit. We don't spend a whole bunch of time on that.
Yeah, we did. So the Cypress, you guys might be familiar with the Driftwood model in Georgetown. Cypress is a very similar home to that. There are a few changes. It's basically our drafting department said, hey, if we didn't have the lot issue that the Driftwood was designed for, which is needing a garage on kind of a more narrow lot, moving that garage to the front, how would we lay it out? So I can kind of point out in the floor plan on the next page kind of what the key differences are between the Cypress and the Driftwood. Really what you're going to see that's different, other than obviously there's no garage, is they relocated the utility room over onto the opposite side of the home. So it's more in line with the extra bedrooms, the spare bedrooms. So your utility room moves. And what that means is in the master suite, you really get just a really nice rearrangement of that home, of that space. And honestly, I like the Cypress better than the Driftwood. The entry to the master bedroom moves and you get like this separate dressing area. What would have been the utility room on the Driftwood got absorbed into the walk-in closet in the master suite. So you just have this nice, huge space. So I'm very fond of this layout. It's a good plan.
And you can do a garage on the side still. So if you're one of our customers that has the big acreage, you can go wider, don't have to go narrow. This is a great plan for you because you can get that nice broad wide look, do the side look garage, windows on the front if you want to do that.
Yeah, absolutely gorgeous home.
So now what do these kind folks do?
They only did like a couple of things. I know you gave
By
us
the
a
way,
quick
shout out to Mr. and Mrs. Dimas for sharing this with us.
Yes.
We appreciate y'all letting us do this. Very
we have been talking to her since she first started with us, and she was very excited to do one of these. So we're really glad to get the opportunity to go and do that. So they made quite a few changes because we kind of mentioned at the beginning, they were customers who really fell in love with the Lasalle model out in Huntsville and wanted to, but the layout of the Cypress just worked better for the family, which happens a lot. So they made some changes to kind of make this look more like the Lasalle is what a lot of these things were kind of in pursuit of. So the first thing they did is on that front covered porch, they extended it out so they could get kind of that grand entryway that you see on the Lasalle. They wanted it to be a 4-bedroom home instead of having that study. So in the foyer entrance, we can wall off what would have been the entrance of the study and make this a full 4th bedroom. So they did that. They changed up the window sizes on the front of the home to make it look a little bit more like what the Lasalle was. In the kitchen, they made a few changes to the island because they really wanted that, modern farmhouse, the wood X's on the end. So they made the island a little bit bigger and put in that farmhouse sink. They did add the 2-step crown molding in the family room to just give it a little bit more dozzing to it, just give it a little bit more. They made the big back porch even bigger. So they extended it by 3.5 feet and also added a railing and concrete steps because you'll see they've got a little bit of that out of level happening. So their porch is a little high. So they added a railing around for the kids and just for safety. And they wanted to balance out the front a little more. So they actually slid the whole master suite forward towards the front of the house. And so then there were some changes that needed to be made to kind of make that layout work. So the hallway space in between the living room and the master got a little bit smaller with that change. And it also did some stuff to the master closet. She had always wanted a mudroom for her kids to dump their stuff in. So she took out a hallway closet and actually created a drop zone space in that area. And so we'll show you that. And then, part of what they did there was also make the powder room a little bit bigger. So it's got more space there. So just a few little tweaks,
So yeah, all the way around the horn.
All the way. Yeah. There's a lot of red, but they weren't really huge things. Just a lot of little things.
And then change it. They went from 2386 square feet to this.
Yeah. They really didn't add any kind of square footage. We just moved a lot of things around. And then they also made, the next slide kind of shows what they changed on the exterior to make this a little bit more Lasalle-ish versus Cypress. So they went ahead and picked up that herringbone design of the brick like we've got on the Lasalle, changed up the exterior windows, recentered some things just to make it look a little bit more. And like I said, added that kind of more impressive front porch. So they've got the big beams, the cathedral ceiling to give you a more grand entryway. And we already mentioned on the back that they extended the porch and added the railing and some stairs.
Very pretty.
It's very, very pretty. But we will let me cue up. So that's the exterior of their home. And I will cue up the video so they can tell us a little bit more about it.
All right, guys. Check out the video. Keep watching the channel.
Hi everybody, I'm Kelsey with Tilson Homes, and I'm joined today with Jocelyn and Pablo here in Montgomery County to talk about their Cypress B plan. So let's talk first about the outside.
Yes, so we went to Texas Grand Ranch and we fell in love with the Lasalle there. So when we finally decided to build, we went with the exterior very similar to the Lasalle. Even the accents that the bricks with the herringbone style as well, and the little arcs as well. That we did that.
Yeah, the color inspiration from the Lasalle.
Yes. We wanted something again very subtle, nothing too crazy, you know. So we upgraded on the bricks. We did the high stone just because we didn't want something very bright or loud. And then the stone, I felt like it was just perfect combination with it.
And then the stain that you have out on the outside is the charwood?
Charwood, yes, which is the same stain as here on the ceiling beams. And but yeah, it's a charwood, which is the darkest brown that they have.
Yeah, it looks really good with the brighter white stone and brick. I think it's a really good contrast.
Yeah, I thought it was a perfect combination. For sure.
Well, let's go check out more of the inside of your house.
Yeah, sure.
All righty.
So yeah, you can definitely, if you've gone to look at the Lasalle, I mean, this is about as close as you can get without it being the actual Lasalle. So again, if you, and Don, we were talking about this earlier before we started the show, and that was, we encourage you really to find a floor plan that works for you, because the outside of the house typically is the easiest part of the house to change.
Right.
But I know as you're going through floor plans, it's very difficult to not, ooh, I love the way this looks, I want my house just like this. And I can't tell you how many times customers would bring a plan to us from a designer or from the internet or even one of our own. It was like, I love this plan, I love everything about it, I have to have this plan. And I'm like, okay, well,
but move this bedroom over here and put this here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You hate the plan.
Yeah.
You like the outside, but you hate the plan. So focus, if you can, first on the floor plan that works for you, and then the outside. We'll get to that, but we know it's important. But that part, let's get a floor plan that works for you first, and let's make an elevation suit it. And that's exactly what the Dimas did. They did an awesome job on that.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's that beautiful front of the home that you can see there, and Kelsey put in all of the material selections for us, so you can see what they use. But yeah, they picked up that herringbone and the brick, and it just looks gorgeous.
Very pretty.
And then that's that back porch that we were talking about. So we're raised up a little bit, so they went ahead and put in the railing around it. But you've got the cedar truss and vaulted ceiling, just beautiful back porch space.
Yeah, and again, you pick this up, you can see it on the driftwood, you can see it on the Lasalle, a lot of the different homes. We have this custom option on a number of our plans. So always best if you can go with one that's already pre-designed. You have to do less messing around with the rest of the house, which they more or less did, and then just added a little bit more onto that. But I love the way it turned out beautiful.
Yeah, I love that. And then the next slide is that entryway, so you can kind of see just how it's got cathedral ceiling when you're coming in. So very grand entrance to this beautiful home. Yeah,
turned out really, really great. Again, this is kind of how this is very much how the Lasalle is done. It's hard to see it that way from just photographs, but if you ever walk up to the model home, it is got a lot more dimension to it than the photographs do for it. So
yeah, absolutely.
Awesome.
All right, so let's take a look at the inside. I'm gonna pull that up. Maybe. There we go.
Oh my gosh, it's so light and bright in here.
Yes.
This is awesome.
Yes.
So this is the Cypress.
Yes. And we the model home.
Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh, it's so light and bright in here.
Yes.
This is awesome.
Yes.
So this is the Cypress.
Yes. And we love the whole open concept. Love walking in and just being able to see the trees, the windows, and the trim. That was our favorite thing that we loved. I mean, when we saw the trim at the model home, we were like, we want that, like, perfect.
Yeah, it looks really nice. I love how dark it is compared to your light walls, because while there's so many light colors in here, the dark just really kind of elevates it and gives it a little something.
Yeah, it's like such a, whenever anyone that comes and visit us, they're always saying like, how beautiful it is. Because it's so, I mean, it's pretty out there, it's really nice. And yeah, like I said, it matched the floors too perfect.
Yeah, it does look really good with these floors.
Yeah, so.
What made you pick these floors?
So I like gray, and you'll see along the side of the house, a lot of the stuff that I picked out was gray. So I wanted something that it wasn't too clear, like too bright, I guess, too light. So we wanted to get something a little bit darker in the grayish area. And yeah, we picked it. And at first I was a little nervous because obviously you have that little, sample that they give you.
Yeah, and you're like, what's this gonna look like in the whole house?
Then we were so nervous. So finally when we came and seen it, I was like, we did it. It was good. So yeah, and I love it. It's perfect. Like honestly, it's perfect. I love it. The floor is just came out great.
Yeah, and while we're right here, I did notice that you have a really awesome
mudroom. Yeah, so here was supposed to be a closet. But I always wanted a mudroom. First, I seen them online, and I was like, we should get a mudroom. So we told them to just open the closet area, like just create it like a little open concept, so then we can add a mudroom, which is what we did. And we expanded the guest restroom because we wanted to get a little bit bigger. Yep. So, and it was perfect because, it was perfect because then we wanted to get the mudroom, so we weren't losing that closet space. They worked that great.
And then right here, you ended up walling off what would have been the study.
Right. So we needed a fourth bedroom. So we had like this area closed. So then we can create that fourth bedroom
Yeah,
on the other side.
that's a great idea.
Yeah.
All right, let's walk into the kitchen now.
So yeah, I love that. Love that change of taking that hallway closet out if you don't need it. So
Yeah, and to get that look and to have it kind of centrally look, we so often we have a coat closet. We don't need coats in Texas. It's not a thing. This is a much better use of the space than to have a coat closet, because this is stuff that's used every day. There's your backpacks, there's your shoes. There's no excuse. We're not running late for school in the morning because you can't find your shoes because they should be in the shoe cubby.
exactly.
Maybe it's just my house. It's just my house. My house. We have this issue. Like, why? This is something we wear every day. Why are we always not have those things? Like, I don't get it. It'll never. It blows my mind. I'm glad I was never that way as a child. So,
oh, of course you weren't. Yeah.
Yeah. No, not at all. Not at all. But yeah.
So we'll have Eric's mom next week talking about how Eric and Chris were his
Mimi,
kids.
Just to get close. We can bring her on. Get close to her birthday. I'm sure she'd love it.
Awesome.
Only if Chris joins us and Andy as well. We'll have all her 3 boys on, and
all the Ellards.
Yeah, and we'll mute her mic, and we'll all talk about her. It'll be great.
No, I'm team mom. I will mute all of y'all.
The floors turned out amazing. But I knew, I know customers do struggle with that when they're in the design center, and we have large samples. I mean, they're not little samples. It's not like a chip you're picking from. Like, it's one plank, but even still, it can be a little overwhelming. If you sit with our designers and let them give you input, they're not going to steer you in the wrong direction.
Yes, that's why we have the professional team to help you kind of pick everything out. We're not gonna let you go wrong.
Yep. So anyway, beautiful.
Yeah, and there's that beautiful family room with that 2-step molding. I love the contrast that it adds to the ceiling. Just looks so grand.
And truly, if you were to stand here in the driftwood model and look that way, like, you would not know if you're in the driftwood or the cypress. Like, you'd think you're standing in the driftwood model home. I mean, the island, the kitchen, all of it looks very, very, very similar.
Yep,
Almost
very
identical.
much the same space. So, all right.
Okay.
Well, let's see if we have any questions.
Let's do it.
People checking in. Let's see. We have got Linda, howdy from Colorado Springs. We are considering a safe room in the garage since we plan on a 3-car garage. What do we need to be aware of, or can one of the closets be reinforced for a safe room?
I'm a much bigger fan of the companies like Family Safe. That's a brand, a company that we have worked with in the past, and that customers of ours have worked with in the past one-on-one, both during construction and even post-construction, particularly in a garage. Might be a better idea. That way you get a better lay of exactly how you want everything to be, where you're going to actually park the cars, and then they can come in and build that. Not build it. It's already built in their factory. It's steel, and they bring it and deliver it right then and there. I like that a lot better than the reinforcing a room. Really, what I like about it on Family Safe is they've done they've done the testing, they've done the ratings, they're based actually in Oklahoma, where they actually have tornadoes on a regular basis. Not taking away what people went through last night. It really happened in Round Rock. It really happened in Elgin. It really happened in Jacksboro. But this is a place where it happens all the time.
Right. And so they have the experience to know what to do.
And the testing facilities that test for, at Oklahoma State University and OU. But they've gone through rigorous testing, whereas the reinforced safe rooms, it's even if you have an engineer design it, it's never been tested. Right. So I like the idea of the steel safe rooms that are designed, tested, certified, done, as opposed to the let's build this and build CMU walls around it and put a concrete roof on it and hopefully it doesn't fall in on you. Like, not a fan of that.
Okay.
Like
fair.
Family Safe.
That's fair. All right. Jabo says, you mentioned driveway access to the propane tank for gas truck access. Is that recommended for septic truck access to the septic tank too?
Jabo, yes, sir. Well done. Yeah. Actually, they once every, depending on use, every 4 to 7 years ish, you're going to need to have the septic probably pumped. Even though I know a lot of us go out of our way to make sure everybody who stays with us understands that we don't rake, don't put grease in there, and don't rake food into there, and do not flush the flushable wipes in there. I don't care what the packaging says about plumber approved. It's not a thing. Don't do it. Do it at your own peril. So anyway, all that to say that, that it needs to be somewhere where they can access it. I wouldn't design my entire landscape plan around that, but if there's an area that stays extraordinarily wet between wherever the driveway ends and the septic tank itself is going to be, that's going to make it really difficult. But I mean, I wouldn't make it where they have to drive over a bunch of your landscaping to get to there. But they can reach, 30 feet or so with the hoses that they have, 30 to 50 feet in some cases, but it can't be 100 feet or 200 feet away. Like, they're going to have better access than that. Great question.
Okay, that makes sense. Chris is asking, how long do the stakeout meetings typically take? He has his this Friday. Very exciting.
Okay, it's going to be at least 2 hours. Sometimes they can go as long as 4 hours or more, depending on how many decisions have already been made before they get out there. How agreeable the customers are on what, I don't mean with us, I mean with each other. And kind of what all the lay of the land is truly. So 2 hours, I would allow 2 to 4 hours for it to get all the decisions made.
Okay.
It'd be awesome if we can have both people there or all parties involved in the decision making. That's ideal. I know that can't always happen because of work schedules, but that's ideal.
Yeah. Courtney's asking if during the build we don't like something, for example, the paint color, are we able to change it?
Right now, Courtney, that's not something that's particularly with paint because it's very, very difficult to find, acquire, and the amounts that were needed to do a whole house. If it were just a room or something, getting those amounts is not a huge deal. But right now, unfortunately, we are at a point where we cannot allow any changes during construction. Yeah. It's unfortunately not possible.
The good news, if it's just paint that you're worried about, is it's just paint. So that's something that's very easy for you to change after the fact.
Once it's attainable.
Once you're able to get it, it's not.
We pray that again one day it will be easy to change.
That's fair.
That's not. Yeah.
All right. Wes is asking, when would be a great time to get my homeowners insurance?
Wes, we stay on you about that. It's typically the week before or week of closing. I mean, it doesn't have to be way in advance. Or I would say, anytime you're going to start moving stuff out there of your own, not into the house, because again, don't move anything in there until we're done, because if it gets damaged, we are not responsible. But if you have, maybe another storage building or accessory building out on the property, you're going to be moving a tractor out there. Those are things that you can call your insurance agent right now. Believe me, they'll sell you a policy.
They'll sell it to you anytime.
They're very good at that. But yeah, those are things like, to the degree that you're moving your stuff out there that you would want to be made whole for were something to happen, that's when you need to have insurance. You will certainly have to have it before you take possession of the home, before you can.
Yeah.
So
well, if you have a mortgage, your mortgage company is going to want to see proof that you have that policy as well.
Right.
Jackie is saying, in my area, we have pine trees that begin to lean and often fall. If that were to happen and cause damage to the house, whose insurance would cover that?
Yeah, Jackie, while it's under construction, that's covered by our builder's risk insurance policy. So that's on us. After construction, obviously, that would be your homeowner's insurance. Where it starts to get real sticky is if it is a neighbor's tree that falls onto. So technically in Texas, I believe that you're responsible for your stuff even if it falls over onto someone else's stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah. If you have trees near your property line that are leaning towards your neighbor's stuff, where there's a fence or house or building or pool or whatever, you need to deal with that because you are responsible.
Oh, wow. Good to know. All right. We got a comment from YouTube. She likes the dressing area and the master. Yeah, I like that too. It's one of my favorite features of the plan.
Cool.
Yeah. And then also asking, do we have a stain for cedar that's a gray tone?
Not typically, no, because when it comes from the I say manufacturer, they don't manufacture cedar. It just shows up as cedar, and so that's more of a weathered look. And so no, it won't be. We don't really have a way to make it look weathered. I don't know if you want to use that on the inside or outside. On outside, it will eventually weather over time. If you stain it even kind of a natural color, we will seal it. But it's over time, obviously, if it's not regularly done, it will start to weather gray. If that's the look you want, let it weather and then seal it again.
All right, makes sense. Lila was asking if the houses come with rain gutters.
So Lila, they do not. Well, they do in some cities and municipalities that do require them. We have to do that. We can also quote a price on doing them, but it's not going to be in the price that you're looking at on the website. That's not going to include gutters, mainly because we don't know exactly how you want to do your landscaping. So where the downspouts need to come out, all that kind of stuff. We don't presume to know how you're going to want that set up.
Right.
So we definitely would need your input and sometimes even most customers afterwards, after they've had a chance to move in, where they want this plant and that shrub and all that to be, then they have the gutters put in.
Okay, makes sense. Ashley is asking an off-topic question. Will we be building a model in Republic Grand Ranch, and when is the estimated completion for this model?
So yes, we will be, and we do not have an estimated completion date at this time.
Yeah.
That's not off topic at all, Ashley, so thanks for asking.
Everything's on topic here.
We have found very little that is off topic at Tilson Live.
Yeah. Jim is asking, would Tilson install a whole home generator during the build if that is specified up front, or do you have a third party do that during or after construction?
We have third parties that we could recommend you to that could do that during or after construction. All we need to know is kind of where you're going to want the electrical stub out to be. It's usually easier. It doesn't have to be this way, but it's usually easier if it's an outside breaker box for them, because they've got big knockouts on the side they can do to put the transfer switch in and then straight to the generator. But it can still be done on an inside electrical panel. But yes, we can put you in touch with somebody who can help with that.
Okay, perfect. Andrea is asking, what if I have a house on the land I want to build on and I want to knock it down? Can we help with that?
Okay, so we don't currently do demolition, but we can certainly put you in contact with some contractors that do. But yeah, so we don't do demolition as part of the project, but we can certainly, like I said, put you in contact.
Okay. And then Ashley is asking, what happens if we pick finishes that go out of stock, like cabinets and counters, and there isn't anything similar available to swap? Can we wait, or will we be forced into something we don't like?
Well, we won't hope to force you into something that you don't like, but the reality is, no, we cannot wait. Now typically we have a pretty good, what am I thinking? A runway, so to speak. Like, we have time that we find that stuff out. Because typically when we're releasing things to construction, we're getting purchase orders cut. We're verifying, usually was it a month in advance? So we're verifying with the vendor, is this still available? Can we still get
you
this
have
out?
it?
Yeah. Like, can you put your hands on it? Not like, is it on a container somewhere off the coast of New Orleans? Like, do you have it? And so, and when the answer to that is no, then we find out, okay, what do you have that's close? And then the customer does come in and make a decision. But unfortunately, we can't just let the house sit there and wait. We do have to progress the home and finish the house. Yeah,
because right now when it goes out of stock, there's no, we don't have any way of knowing when it's coming back.
Right.
So if we're telling you that it's discontinued, it's truly discontinued. So we need to make a decision from what is available. Carrie is asking, once building starts, what is the estimated time frame for finishing right now?
I would budget somewhere between 10 months to 14 months, depending on where. So if you pick about 12 months of actual construction, that's going to get you pretty close. Now, it's not all construction. Most of right now, it's waiting on contractors, waiting on materials, a lot of waiting.
A lot of waiting, yes. Yep. All right. Well, let's go ahead and check out this kitchen.
Let's do it. Oh.
All right, so tell me a little bit about this kitchen space.
So we love this island. We actually got a little bit longer just because we wanted to add the little accent on the side.
Yeah.
Which is like a modern farmhouse style. Yeah, and we wanted something light. As you can see, a lot of the stuff is pretty neutral.
And I like that you actually did a little bit darker on the cabinets instead of white cabinets because it kind of gives a little bit of contrast.
Yes. I didn't want to have like this crazy patterns together. I just wanted something very simple, straight to the point. And we took a risk with the gold. Accent was brass. I loved it, how it
turned out great.
Yeah, with the gray, I never really seen a lot of these gray with the gold. With the brass. So to me, it was perfect.
And then this backsplash is really nice. You kind of have the herringbone pattern.
Yes, the herringbone style. Yes, I thought I didn't want to add too much color, like I said. I wanted something very simple. But yeah, with that style, it was actually a last minute change that I did.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was a subway style first.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I don't want that. That's kind of too simple, too.
You need a little something
extra.
A
little something, So then I was like, can we change? It's like, yeah, let's go ahead and do it. And they did it, and it was good.
And another little way to add something to look at is this little niche right here.
Perfect to hold the oil, which I always have that there. Yeah. So yeah, it was perfect.
Yeah, it turned out great.
Yes.
And this farmhouse sink is huge and
It's huge.
massive and
Yes,
beautiful.
At our old house, we used to have a smaller sink, and I used to always say, "Oh my God, I can't wait to get a farm sink."
Yeah.
I can't wait because they're so much bigger, and you can put so much stuff in there. I mean,
And now that you have it, you're like, yes,
I know. I'm like,
got it.
we got it.
And then you have this right here, this little eating area.
Yes. We didn't want to have a formal dining because, I mean, we're not really your typical people. You just kind of
Yeah.
like sit out here, you know. So
But it
whenever
still
we-
has its own designated
Yeah,
space,
for
so it
sure.
feels like it's still a little bit separated. And you've got these huge windows letting in all that light.
I love it in the mornings when we wake up and we'll start eating and we'll just see if it's raining or if
Yeah.
it's just so pretty, like the whole view. That's why I love the fact that the whole house has so many windows everywhere.
And access right onto your gigantic patio.
Yes.
You
for
have
sure.
access here and in the living room.
Yeah. If this is blocked off for whatever reason, we can just
Yeah.
go to the other one. Yeah.
Well, and it makes it really easy to, kind of bring the inside out or take the outside in, either
sure.
way. It's really awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, well, let's go check out some of the bedrooms.
Yes, let's go.
All right.
All right.
Yeah, the kitchen's killer in this house. They did a fantastic job with their choices. Very simple, very clean, just real elegant. I like it a lot.
Yeah, I like it a whole lot too. And you can see this picture shows you a little bit of what happened with that island, that it got a little bit bigger, and it's got that nice detail on the end of it. That's just beautiful. And I love their choices of the fixtures and the way the gold just sort of pops out on the cabinets and the fixtures. It's just beautiful, beautiful kitchen.
Made it nice. So yeah. Well,
Yes.
should we head to the master?
Actually, we're going to see the secondary bedrooms
Well,
first.
good. That's what I'd rather see anyway. I don't want to see the master.
All righty. So let me pop that up for everybody.
So this is another room. This room is the same size as the other ones.
Okay, did you make any changes to that room at all?
No, it's just the window's a little bigger on that one. This right here is the utility room. So we added, the original plan came with the window, and we added a second door.
Yeah, that looks really nice.
As another entrance, because we don't have a garage, so it was easier for us to come in through this way.
And then drop the shoes on the tile
Yes,
so you don't have to worry
please,
about
before you come in
a
here,
mess.
making a mess. And the same tile is the same here as it is on all the restrooms.
Okay, and those are the only places that have tile in the house?
Yes.
Everything else is
Yeah,
this?
everything is the same as this.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And I like that you continued doing the same cabinets in there with
Yes,
the gold fixtures.
same
and
cabinets
everything.
there. Here, this is the kids' restroom. On here, the same with the tile.
Yeah.
We did the tile all the way up to the ceiling just because I felt like that was more of a finished look. And then the cabinets, same thing, same color here. The only thing that we did is black here instead of the gold like in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Just to kind of look a little different so it doesn't all look the same. And the same, like I said, same tile here as well.
I like that you did the tile all the way to the ceiling in the shower because it really makes the ceiling seem a lot higher and it's, ease of cleaning when it comes to the shower
And
area.
I just love that color. I don't know. Oh, I like gray, so
Yeah.
that's perfect. I was like, that's pretty. So
like,
come on,
what color is she gonna pick?
I know.
I
so.
feel like it's gonna be gray.
Yeah, I know, right? And then here are the two other rooms for the kids.
Okay.
So this is the other room
All
that we
right.
have.
So this is the same size as the one by the front?
Yes, same size. And then, like you can see, the ceilings all over the house are pretty tall.
Yeah, they're really tall and
Yeah.
huge window as well.
Yes, the windows are really big. I feel like for the rooms, but so they're perfect. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's brings a lot of light in here.
Yeah, it does.
For
And
sure.
then this room over here is the one that you converted from the study.
Yes, so this is the fourth bedroom for the baby, and then for another son that we have.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's perfect size. I mean, we're able to fit that's a full-size bed.
Yeah.
And we still have plenty of room for all the baby's toys, which is a lot.
Is this the size that the study would have been?
Yes.
All you
same
did
size.
was just wall off.
Yeah,
the
just close that
entrance.
off.
Okay.
For sure. And then this is one of the biggest windows. This one that we have that is facing the outside.
Yeah, this one's huge. I mean, you have great views in every single
Yeah,
window.
everywhere. Yeah, it's like if I hear something like, oh, let me go one of the windows.
Yep, let's go
each
look.
part of the house. Yeah, for sure.
All right, let's go check out the master.
All right. So we did have a question pop up. Tanya was asking how big the kitchen island is. So their island is about 8 feet wide by 4 feet deep. So it's good, very, very large size.
Yeah, the 4 feet includes the bar top overhanging. So.
And then Andre is asking, do you guys do the sliding doors that go all the way into the wall in the living room instead of windows?
So we actually do not right now because it's one of those things that like a 30-week lead time, unfortunately, and very unpredictable even with that. So even our normal windows right now, you're talking 24-week, 16 to 24-week lead times. Pretty predictable. They're quoting 30 to 40-week lead times on items like that, and they will not guarantee that they're going to have it. And so unfortunately right now we're not able to offer we've looked at, just about every manufacturer that's out there to offer that product, and just, none of them. And the same thing, it's not that they don't want to, they just cannot get the parts and components to build those.
Right.
Garage doors are up. Just insane long lead times on garage doors. So unfortunately right now, those are not things we're able to offer.
Okay.
Great question, Andrew. Thanks for asking.
All right. And then Ashley's asking, if building while out of state, can we complete everything virtually remote? We'd love to be there in person, but flight works kids makes it difficult.
The answer is yes. We have done that. It may be worth at least making 1 or 2 trips to at least put your hands on some colors. You don't have to necessarily do the color appointment like that, although you can, but at least have an idea. That's probably one of the bigger things, is to be able to get a real good eye on those finishes.
Right.
But yes, we have done it where people live completely out of state the entire build, or out of the country for that matter, the entire build.
All right, awesome. And then we have a question, could the study area have a wider opening so it could be a dining room?
Yes, no problem.
Absolutely. And then let's see, Carrie is asking, what is a good size guest bedroom measurement for a room used once or twice a year with a queen bed in it?
I'd say if you want a queen in there, 11 by 12 is probably plenty. That might get a little cramped if you're if you're living in there full time, but if it's just once or twice, even 5 nights a year, it's not like 11 by 12 is plenty.
Okay, that makes sense.
You don't want to get in too comfortable, Carrie, because then they stay. And
yeah, you want to have just enough space.
Yeah, if we're talking in-laws, they need to leave. If we're talking kids coming back from college, same thing. Like, should be comfortable.
You can figure out how to make the college bedroom a little bit smaller, like every time they,
Yeah. Like,
All right.
well, you don't have to lay on a futon if you don't like. It's up to you.
And then we also have a question, can the entire back patio be completely screened in?
Okay, it's the answer is yes, but we don't have pricing for that, particularly on the patios like this where they have that big cathedral ceiling. So we have to get that bid and get pricing back on that. But yes, we have screened them in.
Okay, makes sense. All right, let's check out that master because I know you were really wanting to see it.
I do.
Let's go. So this is the master. So
this is huge.
Yeah, it's really big. This is a king size, and we're able to fit the 2 nightstands and the baby's bed.
Yeah.
Right now, the baby's bed. And then this is standard. So this comes with the plan.
That's really nice. It just kind of elevates the whole space and adds even more height.
Yeah, for sure. And there's so much light again, with the windows and those little corner windows.
I actually really like the tiny windows.
Yeah, it's really nice. Sometimes, like I said, when we come in here, we have all the lights off. We just have all the windows open, and it's so much brighter in here.
Yeah. So you don't even need artificial light.
No.
You got plenty of natural.
Yeah, for sure.
And then right here
this is the master. Okay, so this is the master restroom.
Wow. Oh, I love this tile.
Yes.
The marble.
Thank you. Yeah, so we did the same thing again here. We put the tile all the way up.
Yeah.
I just love this tile. When I first seen it, I was like, we just might as well have the whole wall.
Yeah. Cover it all.
Yeah.
I don't want to see any wall. I just want tile.
Yeah, and so the plan comes with standard again, the tub and the shower. The shower is pretty much for me. I love shower. My husband loves the tub, so we got that for him, which is a very huge
It's a
size.
really deep tub.
Really big. And then we were talking about earlier, we did different colors here. From the kitchen, again, it's just kind of a little
the
different.
black hardware instead of the gold.
Yes. Then we have the toilet here, and then this is my little makeup area.
I like that.
And the closet.
Oh my
Which
Lord.
is literally the
This is
size
huge.
of another room.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is pretty big size. I was telling my husband, like, we should put like another mattress here one day.
No kidding.
Just
you can
put
have
the kids in there.
This could be a whole new room.
Yeah, for sure. And then for all the shoes, and this came with it as well, the shelves. Our builder was great, and he helped us out with this, so we did this as well.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah,
and then in here, there's not normally huge, gigantic windows and closets.
Yeah.
So that's
and
really
this is
nice.
perfect. Yeah, and I hardly turn the light on in here. I just always, first thing I do is just open up the window, and there's so much lighting. Yeah.
It makes getting ready really bright.
Yes, and there's a lot of shelves, and
Yeah,
I mean, we
tons
have
of
space.
storage.
Yeah, we need to probably start buying more clothes
To fill up all of the space.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
I don't think that's a bad problem to have.
I don't think so either.
All right, well, let's go back into the kitchen
Yes.
and kind of talk about some of the features of your house.
Sure.
Okay, so circling back to the question about how big should a guest room be, I think the size of that master closet.
Yeah, the closet should be about right. Yeah,
That would be
closet.
that'd be efficient. But yeah, that's I agree, Jana. That closet was absolutely amazing. So this is just to kind of review, so you guys can see, visualize the changes that you saw in that master suite versus what the standard layout of the Cypress is. Like we mentioned, they pulled it forward, which means we shortened that hallway coming off of the living room because everything's a little bit more forward. So that changed, and that also impacted the layout of that closet space. So it did make it a little bit bigger than standard, but honestly not that much. Like that's pretty much the size closet that you get, which is one of the reasons I like this layout better than the driftwood. Like it's a nice size closet. So
Yeah, if you look, it's about the size of the shower, which is about 4 foot by 4 foot or 42 by 42, pretty close. That's about what was added. But apart from that, I mean, this is pretty well the stock size of the closet. They did go down to 1 4 foot wide window instead of 2 3 foot, so they got a little more shelving there, a little more wall space. But I mean, like 2 feet, not a crazy amount. So.
Yep, nothing crazy. So it's very nice, very nice. And then that's just another view of that bathroom and the little dressing area. Just absolutely really cool. Very gorgeous. Just love this home.
I like the Carrera tile going all the way up the ceiling.
Yeah, that's pretty. It just looks great. It's just really just a nice retreat. And then that's the hallway bath that we saw earlier. So yeah, and then the back porch, which we'll see again in a minute.
Head there now.
Yeah, we can head there now. Let's go.
Let's talk about your patio.
Yes, so the patio. We extended the patio. We extended about 5 feet over, and we added the railing as well for the view. So we can just sit out there and drink coffee in the mornings and just enjoy the view. I mean, this is the whole reason why we moved out here, because of the land. Yeah, and the back part of it, it's just, to us, everyone who comes to our house is like always complimenting the back.
Yeah.
It's so pretty. Yeah. So it's great. And then we got steps as well because of the slope. We have a big slope back there.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the highlights of this plan is the huge peaked ceiling on the covered porch, and with you extending it out, I mean, you've got tons of outdoor space out there. It's great.
Yeah, and it goes across, so it's the same height as the one in the in here as well.
It just extends right on out. That's so nice. It makes it feel so open when you walk in the front door. You've got the giant ceiling. It just keeps going.
Perfect, yeah.
I love that. So what made you kind of choose this plan for yourself?
The open concept, just because whenever I'm cooking here, making breakfast or something, the kids are here eating and we're watching TV, or, they're out here as well in the dining room. So it's just open. It's so open. Like, you don't have to, like, you're not hiding nowhere. It's just kind of like, it's right there.
But it's great because you still have your privacy of having your master on one side of the house and then all of the kids' bedrooms.
That's
on the
how
opposite.
we wanted. That's when we saw the plan. We're like, okay, this plan has exactly the layout that we wanted. The master's on one side and the kids is on the other side. So it works out great.
Yeah, I love it.
Thank you.
So thank you so much for having me over. I really appreciate it.
Thank
Showing
you
me
for coming.
around
Yes,
and
thank you for
letting me
coming.
invade your space.
Yeah, no, you're fine. But everything, we love working with Tilson, and it came out perfect. I mean, honestly, it was just great.
Oh, that's so great to hear.
Yeah.
Well, thank all of you for joining us one more time with the Tilson Live Tours, and we hope to someday soon make you part of the Tilson family.
All right.
Kelsey did a great job, as always.
As always,
And Mr. and Mrs. Dimas, thank you again. Josh, you were great. Appreciate that. And I couldn't get past this view. Like,
yeah, it's just such a great outdoor living space. I love it. It's just beautiful.
Yeah, it's killer. Really, really killer. So, yeah, folks. So this is a custom option. But again, they did the custom options on the Cypress and just added. I say just 3.5 feet's a lot on a porch.
It is
but
a lot, yeah.
That's the size of an entire sofa. So definitely worth doing. So anyway, I know we've got some questions, whether we asked for them or not.
All right. And so we had a question about kitchen cabinets. Can the cabinets be gray stained instead of painted? And yes, we do have some gray stain options for you that you can check out. Jabo is asking, can we shop lenders before closing, or do problems occur if buyers don't stick with the original lender, the one we used to get started? We want to make sure we get the best available rate.
Okay, so yes, there's going to be issues. It's not to say that you couldn't do that. It needs to be done way in advance. So you need to know exactly what lender you're working with, no less than, I'm going to say 90 days right now prior to closing. 60 is a hard, do not change past that, or you will be pushing your closing back. Lord only knows how long. But it's not to say that you couldn't shop, but I would also give the person that you're with a chance to shop it too. But yeah, changing it anywhere closer than 60 to 90 days prior to when you need to be closing, it's going to be chaos. I can tell you that.
Yeah, it's taking a very long time right now to get appraisals done. So it will mess everything up if you wait too long.
Yep.
Right. Ashley is asking, can Tilson put a jib window into a floor plan we choose, or is that not something offered by Tilson?
So that's not something we typically have. Again, with the manufacturers these days, a lot of those specialty type windows, they're just almost abandoning them altogether because that's all they can do to get the materials and components for a regular window. So, when you start looking at different shaped windows and things like that, pocket windows and box windows, I think they can do, but yeah, it's just really, really difficult right now to get anything outside of just a normal window. So I'd steer you away from that from a design perspective, just because it's probably going to be something that even if they can quote us a price, the odds of being able to get it when the house is ready for it are super, super low.
Okay. All right. Morty is asking, is there a plan for the website to allow customizing of the new Cisco plan? Yes, there is. That is just in development with our provider for that, but we hope to have it launched by the end of this month, and we'll post a note when we've got those live for you. We have a lot of questions about the size of the closet.
I looked it up. So it what you're looking at is about it's about 12 feet wide, 11 foot 8-ish, 12 feet wide, and then for the total rectangle portion, it's about 12 by 10. Okay, so about the size of a bedroom, and then it had that little kind of panhandle up at the top, if you will. Texans going to resonate with panhandle; they understand. And that area is about 4 feet by 5 feet. So about another 20 square feet up in that upper part that the hallway used to be. So that is no small closet by itself. I know we have some plans that's the whole walk-in closet. So it's 10 by 12 plus, so it's 140 square feet ish.
Right. And that 10 by 12 is about the standard Cypress closet.
Yes.
So. Awesome. Colleen is asking, what level is the gray cabinets in the bathroom?
That I don't know offhand, or if they are even available. So I had the options in and pulled up. Well, I had it pulled up before I had to close it. Reboot. Here we go. Options in with RTE. Okay.
Looks like it was a level 2 then.
Yeah. But again, I don't know if that's something that's still available now, or if it's even still the same level. But yeah, at the time it was a level 2 cabinet. Known as a nebulous gray. Quite the name for a cabinet.
It's a Sherwin-Williams paint color.
Exactly.
So, yeah. I always joke around with people that in my next career I'm going to name paint colors. Paint colors are nail polish. They are just.
I swear that
random.
They eat paint chips to name paint colors. That's what I've decided.
Yeah, they're just breathing in all the fumes.
Yeah.
All right. Ashley's asking, if we add on a garage, can a bonus room be added above any garage?
All right. So any is a very all-encompassing word. So I'm going to say no, it can't be added to any, but it's really not the space above the garage that's the issue, although to some degree it is. You have to have enough head clearance to have the pony walls and then somebody be able to walk. Otherwise it knocks your hair out if you're not careful.
Is that what happens?
That's what happened. Yes.
Okay.
Today. And
That's the
then,
story we're going with.
but what really is more difficult than that is actually the staircase. So staircases can't just go anywhere. They are far more complicated than just the space above, because you have to have enough room to usually make a turn, and you have to have enough head clearance to do that, and to be able to get furniture up. So it really does start to be very design specific on whether or not you can put a bonus room above a garage, and it has a lot more to do with the staircase than it does the space above.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense. And we have a question: can we take out the master tub and put a wheelchair-friendly wheel-in shower?
We can. We can. It needs to be bigger than it is already, and you got to start thinking about if you want any type of glass at all, or if you just want a curtain of some sort. Because I mean, I don't know what the situation is, but if someone is truly that wheelchair bound, where they have to get the wheelchair physically into the shower, they're probably going to need help, even with a handheld shower head. Like someone that's that bound to has that kind of mobility issues is probably not going to be going in there by themselves.
Okay.
So something to consider when you're thinking about that.
Okay. All right. J-Bo is asking on that back porch, what are the dimensions, and at what point does the homeowner have to decide to add stairs on the back porch if the step off is higher than anticipated?
So it needs to be added. I mean, typically it's done. The engineer has a say in that. That back porch it's about 14'6" deep, and almost 19 feet wide. So it's big. It's every bit almost as big as the family room. And then on the step, I mean, a concrete contractor theoretically could add those stairs later, but those were incorporated as part of their plan, as part of the design. So it'd be a little late to the game to do that in your situation. It had to be done while the foundation is being designed, but it's not to say that someone couldn't add those steps later as flat work.
Okay.
It won't look exactly like Joss's does, but it can get pretty close.
Okay. All right. Jim is asking, it's not a dumb question, so I'm going to skip that part. We will be building on a couple hundred acres and have several potential locations on the property to build. When soil test is done, could they take multiple samples in different locations to check where the best location would be? Or are we limited on how many soil tests can be done?
So yeah, we are limited on the well, I mean, you're not limited on what can be done. The price includes drilling 2 holes, ideally from where the home is going to go. This is part of the reason why we do that site evaluation before we'll order the soil test. So we're going to meet you out there. And while the soils does obviously play a significant role in how the foundation is going to perform, we're going to design to whatever the soil situation is. So I wouldn't worry about it as much. And if our stakeout superintendents, our land preparation specialists, they're savvy enough to be able to tell you, you don't want to do it over here. We're going to have some major drainage issues. I see some things that we don't, I see a bunch of palmetto over here. That means water stands all the time. We don't want to do it over there. And they're going to, so we, even with a couple hundred acres, we don't usually have an issue during that stakeout meeting, that site evaluation, to tie down the house, pretty sure where it's going to go. And then we do the soil test there. So I would defer, Jim, until after that site evaluation meeting. If you're still just completely unsure, maybe we talk then about doing multiple geotechnical investigations, but I've never encountered it where we needed to go get multiple ones from different sites because we were just that indecisive. Kudos to you, though. Maybe the first time you have that beautiful piece of property that you've got 10 different places that have the most gorgeous vista on the planet, and that's possible. All
right, awesome. Colleen is asking, on the back patio, was the fencing around it done by Tilson? If so, what roughly could the cost be? So to answer the first part, yes, we did the railing.
Yeah, we did do the railing on that one. I don't have the cost in front of me, but your design consultant can get you that information if you want to get pricing on doing that. So
okay. J-Bo is asking, has Tilson been able to go back to using metal attic stairs, or are the wooden models still being used?
Right now, it's whatever we can get that meets code. That meets our energy standard, which is an important one, and that meets the code. It really varies. What drives it more than anything is the ceiling height that the district stairway is going in. So some of them, on some of these taller ceilings, 10-foot, 11-foot ceilings, you can't just go to any big box store and grab a disc stairway that's going to work, because they're not going to reach. They're made for like 8 or 9 foot ceilings, and they're not going to go. It's not a disc stairway. Now it's a rappelling ladder that swings. That's not okay. It's not safe.
Pass code.
No, it is not going to pass code. So anyway, all that to say, right now it's being driven mainly by what's available in the market. That's one of the things that it's just a weird, that MDF shelving is another one that's just like, can't get it. It's impossible to get. Disc spring stairways is a very difficult thing to get. So right now it's whatever is available that meets code and meets the energy standards.
Yep. Makes sense. And we're being asked, could you add a couple of rows of clear brick windows along the top of the master bath?
So glass block is what I'm guessing.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like to me.
Yeah, we've done it in the past. Hadn't seen it in a long time, but I'm sure that we could find out if that's available. That's not something we've done, and we used to do them all the time. But I haven't seen that done in the last 5 to 8 years. So I'm not going to say we can't do it, but I'm not going to say that particularly right now, supply chain way it is.
We're going to have to check to make sure
I have no idea.
Still out there.
Yeah.
All right. Joe is asking, when paying cash, would we need to provide a bank letter to prove feasibility before beginning?
The answer is yes. Yeah. So we do what's known as a verification of funds, verification deposit, and we verify with some type of banking institution that the funds are in place to cover the amount of the contract.
Okay. And then we have a question: are sprinklers an option to install, and can we select our grass type an option? For example, St. Augustine.
Well, you can do whatever you like, Doc, because we actually don't handle the landscaping except in a few areas. That some of these subdivisions that we build in, like Texas Grand Ranch, Republic Grand Ranch, we're doing that. But beyond, if you're not building one of those two, you can do whatever you want, because we don't have anything to do with the landscaping or the sprinkler system.
Okay, makes sense. Jim is saying that Curtis mentioned Tilson has switched to a different cabinet company. Is that company Burroughs? No,
So no,
that
we
company
actually
is
switched.
Kentmore.
Yeah, we've switched from Burroughs to Kentmore cabinets. But probably the reason Curtis would say that is because in his models in Katy, they're not the Kentmore cabinets. So that's probably why he mentioned that.
Yep. All right. Kelsey got that answer too. All right.
Okay.
Bobby is asking, does Tilson offer black frame windows and exterior sliding doors?
Okay, Bobby. We have in the past.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, right now, the lead times are such that we can't. It's one of the products that they can't get, it's so unpredictable that we're not comfortable locking a customer in on those, because we can get no assurances from the various manufacturers and from our distributors that the product will be available when it's time to install it. And I know that's not what folks want to hear, because you're wanting to build your dream home, but I'm not. We're just not comfortable right now with the lack of security that we're getting from manufacturers. I'm not, no discredit to them and not disparaging them. It's just the world that they're in right now too. They cannot.
And honestly, they're making smart business choices. All of the manufacturers are saying, hey, we've got limited capacity. We're going to manufacture the most common items that people order. So if you're looking for some type of specialty product like black windows, which are not the most common, they're just not producing them as much. The same thing's happening in some metal finishes. So the reason some of our tiles are going out is it's the ones that aren't the most popular selection. So the manufacturers have made the decision that, knowing they only have a certain amount of capacity to make things, we're going to make the things that most people are going to buy, instead of putting effort into specialty products that we might have to put on our shelves for a while. And that's, a good business decision on their part. I know it's disappointing for customers to hear that, but that's what's happening right now.
Dawn said it way better than I did. Brilliant. Thank you.
Ashley's asking if we want to fence our full property. Can Tilson do that, or would we need a third party?
Yeah, you need to get a third party. Actually, we don't do fencing. No kind of fencing or landscaping.
Okay. And then Carrie is asking, can Tilson add cabinetry and shelving and a walk-in pantry to my specifications?
As long as your specifications are just shelving, yes. So, we have customers that come in and say, hey, I don't want 5 shelves. I want 3 shelves, and I want them 2 feet apart. Like, we can do that. But as far as like any of, kind of pullouts or these closet systems you see, like, that's not stuff that we do. Ours are going to be built there on site, painted on site. And again, it's getting tougher and tougher with MDF shelving, and even white pine is getting difficult, because MDF's difficult, so everybody's buying white pine. So we can't get too crazy with it, but yeah, we can certainly make some. Sometimes if you want them 16 inches deep, 12 inches deep, those are things that we can get.
I want 4 instead of 5. I want this height versus this height.
Yeah, those we have done.
All right, and that is the last question that I see.
All right, well, folks, thanks for watching this. Mr. and Mrs. Dimas, thanks so much, not just for choosing us, but for letting us into your home and doing this video. It's amazing. Thank you, Kelsey and Dawn, for getting this done. I didn't see David on here, but thanks, David Bibiano, for doing the videography. Very good at that. I think that's all the credits that credits is due. Yeah, and so, folks, obviously, we are not, it doesn't have to end here. All right, it has to end here with us, but it doesn't have to end here with your questions. We got a Facebook page, we got an Instagram page, we got a YouTube channel, we have a Vimeo channel if you want to watch ad free. We have what else? What else do we have? We have a website.
We have a website.
Yep. Award-winning website, and we also have 12 locations open 7 days a week for you to tour model homes, sit down with folks, and talk about all these customizations, get the most up-to-date pricing. Talk about changes. Most of the salespeople, they see these at some point or another. They may not see them when you do, but they can certainly go reference them, and we can help them out with that. So, guys, thank you all for watching. Thank you so much for choosing to spend your time with us. Those of you who are our customers, thank you so much for trusting us. I know it's a very challenging time, so hang in there with us, bear with us, and we promise we will get you through to the finish line and get you in your forever home. And for those of you who aren't customers yet, you're running out of excuses. You really are, because we've got so much content out there. There's really no reason that you shouldn't build this unless you're not building in Texas, in which case, good luck. Okay. But those of you who aren't yet, we hope these are helpful. We hope they're informative. If there's other topics you want to hear about, let us know. But more than anything else, we just hope to make you soon part of the Tilson family. We'll see you guys later.
Bye, everybody.